Oh, good morning. Good morning. I hope I'm live. I'm going to wait to see if anybody is answering me yet. I am not Pastor Jenn. If you if you do not notice, I am not Pastor Jenn, but I am filling in for her today because she is on retreat this week. That I wish I was on retreat this week. Good morning. I see one person. Not sure who it is yet. Oh, let's see. Who is here? Greg Harbridge. Hi, Greg. How are you? And Leanne, good morning. It's great to see you guys coming in. Like I said, I am not Pastor Jenn. Hi, Joyce. Pastor Jenn not gratefully, but gracefully gave up her devos so that I could do them today. Because she's on retreat. She's enjoying her time. Hopefully, she is resting. I really hope she's resting. Let's all pray that she's resting. We all know that she sometimes likes to go, go, go. So, good morning, Lori. Good morning, Tanya and Paul. Good morning, Aunt Louise. My aunt watches every morning from Ottawa, if you guys didn't know that. But, so I was thinking about, like, what can I be talking about here? What has God been teaching me this year? And so I thought I would share something that he has been teaching me kind of my whole life, but like he's brought it to light this year. And so, as some of you guys know, I recently started a new job downtown Barrie. So I'm working at a place called Higher Grounds Coffee House, and it's run by Hope City Church, and it's a social enterprise cafe. Does anyone know what a social enterprise cafe is? Maybe shoot it in the comments. So if you know what a social enterprise cafe is, or just a social enterprise, let me know. Let's see what you say. Good morning, Grandma Karen. Good morning, Ellen and Rob, by the way. So the question is, what is a social enterprise cafe? Or a social enterprise? I feel like Jen now. I understand the 15-second delay. This is funny. Does anybody know what a social enterprise is? Ooh. I feel like you're all Googling it, aren't you? And by the way, I have my morning voice right now. I feel it. Good morning, Diane. So, for those of you that don't know, because I'm not seeing any answers, a social enterprise is a place, like a business, that operates like a normal business, but part of the proceeds go back into the community. And so at Higher Grounds, we're right in downtown Barrie. We're right over by the bus terminal on that side of Mary Street. And we work with a bunch of different people. So we do have customers that come from the different shops downtown or from churches, but we also serve a lot of people who are homeless or who have some struggles in life that are quite obvious to other people. And so we have something called a Pay It Forward program. So maybe some of you guys last week saw Steve Bradley's fundraiser. He actually did one for us where he shaved his head. Some of you guys probably donated. Hands up. Yes, thank you, Tanya. Developing life skills for less fortunate. So that's part of our mission. But yeah, so he actually gave us a bunch of money, and it's towards something called our Pay It Forward program. The Pay It Forward program goes, and what it is people can come in who are maybe homeless or don't have a lot to do, and they can say, hey, I'm hungry, can I have something to eat? And we'll give them a breakfast sandwich or a wrap, anything like that. And we also do something where we have a Stepping Stones program, and we help people to develop job skills so that they can go and get a job later on. It's a really cool job, and I love it. But it's messy. Like, if anybody has been downtown Barrie, you've probably noticed that there's some really nice parts. But if you go on the right side of Mary Street, it can be messy down there. And as someone growing up, I grew up in a suburban, kind of like picture perfect lifestyle. My parents were together. I had a brother. We looked like a perfect nuclear family. And to be honest, we were. We had like struggles. My parents weren't rich, and we couldn't go on vacation across the world. But we were safe, we were happy, and we had everything that we needed. And so I grew up not seeing a lot of hardship. And so when I went through my own personal things in high school and in university, I had a really hard time finding people that I could talk to about those hard things. And there are some things that I just was never comfortable sharing because I didn't see anybody else in my world who was struggling with those same things. And so I remember I was at camp one year and I read the verse, Jesus wept. And I started crying because I didn't feel like I could do that with a lot of people. I didn't feel like I could cry with a lot of people. And I didn't feel like I could be honest about what was truly going on in my life with a lot of people. Well, that Sunday, I had written a song and I was playing it with my mom. And something happened in our family. It's not mine to share, so I'm not going to share it. But something happened in our family and I was distraught. And I got up on the stage and the song said, God, you are relentless, you call me precious, all you say is true. And I cried the entire way through it in front of 300 people. And it just felt like God was saying, it's okay to show the imperfection. It's okay to show the vulnerability. And in doing that, it opens up that gate for other people to also show those things and to make that a safe place. And so when I'm working downtown, there's a lot I can show that is imperfection. And there's this one girl, so I'm supposed to kind of be like the one who is leading this mentorship program, but there's one girl who I work with quite a bit, and she's 18, and she's had a rough life, and I'm not going to go into it because, again, it's her story to tell, but I was talking with her, and I asked her one day, like, something simple about school, and she told me about this rough year that she had and what put her behind. And she was so open, and I was shocked. And not at the things that she had done or the things she was saying. I was shocked at how easily she said it. She said, yep, this is what happened, and here's how I'm moving forward. And then yesterday, we're sitting and having a conversation, and she's like, I really struggle with this one thing. And I sat there, and it was something that I have struggled with a lot. Like, a lot. And it's something that I know that other people in my family sometimes struggle with, not like my immediate family, but she struggled and she opened this up. And so I was actually able to say, hey, I struggle with that too. And it wasn't me helping her there. It wasn't me helping her. By her opening this gate of vulnerability, it allowed me to be vulnerable. It allowed me to feel safe in that. And she was giving just as much grace, and she's like, I get it. And it's hard. And there was no shame in it. There was no shame. And it was just this community of support. And I was like, this is a beautiful picture of what church should be. First of all, me, who's supposed to be the one helping, and then this girl who is not. And she's supposed to be the one that's struggling, and I'm supposed to be helping her, and I'm not. And it really knocked me down a peg, because I'm like, I can learn so much from people who are more vulnerable than me. And so this morning when I was setting up my little area here to film, I went to fold my blanket, and I'm like, no, Abby, don't fold your blanket, because it's a mess. My pillow's here, it's not all set up nicely. And then literally 5 minutes before I went live, I was like, I'm gonna put on some makeup. And then I was like, no, I can't talk about being vulnerable if I'm going to hide the things that I feel shameful or scared of. And so I want to talk one more thing about this, is that cancel culture. I think I talked about this in another one that I did with Jen. And cancel culture, does anyone remember what it is? Can anyone want to shoot out? What is cancel culture? Let's see. I'm going to take a drink. I don't drink coffee like Jen. I'm sorry, Jill. No, Jill's the tea one. Leanne's coffee. Sorry, guys. But what is cancel culture? Let's see. I'm going to take more water. Anybody know what cancel culture is? Any ideas? Okay, let's see. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with shutting things down. Oh, there we go. Greg Harbridge, you don't like what I have to say, I cancel you. Essentially, yes, that's exactly it. Cancel culture, don't like it, cancel it, remove it. Yes. So cancel culture is exactly those things. You're written off when you don't agree. Removing memories of the past. Ooh, that's an interesting way of putting it, Paul. Not listening or shutting down. These are all really, really good definitions of cancel culture. So cancel culture, I think, sometimes makes us afraid to share our vulnerabilities or our imperfections. I know that's one thing for me. So one thing that I really struggle with personally is I seriously think I have a food addiction. Wow, I said that on the internet. That's weird. I said this at staff meeting a few weeks ago, and it's something that sounds silly and kind of stupid, but it's something that I really struggle with. Like, I constantly think about food. I constantly think about, like, when am I going to eat next? What am I going to eat next? And I'm constantly hungry. And it's bad. Like, I'm an active person. I go for long walks, and I do little workouts and whatever, but it's constant. And so, but it's not something that people talk about. People talk about other struggles, but it's not one I hear is about people being addicted to food. And so, because I have never heard that before, it's not something I really like to share. But it's something that I feel the need to share because I know that there are people who have that same problem. But cancel culture, sorry, I'm like my dad. I'm like Squirrel, and I just switch topics on a second. But cancel culture says that, okay, maybe you say that you have this addiction, or maybe you say something that other people disagree with, and suddenly it's gone. And last year, I remember Louis Giglio said something that was, to be honest, it was really inappropriate. It wasn't worded well. I think he meant well, but he did not say something well about white privilege. And a lot of people were like, that is so wrong, and like canceled him. But he immediately apologized, and so it kind of went away because he apologized like, that is not what I meant to say. This is wrong. It's not true, blah, blah, blah. But I really struggled with that because I'm like, part of me is like, okay, yeah, you should have to face some repercussions. But another part of me was like, okay, no, you need grace. And so I was having this conversation with somebody, and they were like, oh yeah, this person should be canceled. Everybody should be canceled. And we were like, okay, but what about grace? She's like, well, that doesn't matter because you need to like face your problems, and like you need to be punished. And so she was saying this, and I was like, okay, but what about when you mess up? Like, do you want to be canceled? And she kind of looked at me. She's like, and she didn't know what to say because maybe she didn't think she would mess up. But I was like, you're going to want grace when you mess up. So let's try to give grace to these other people. And I think it's something that we need to balance that we don't always know either. So I guess this is just a reminder for people that, like, if you guys show your vulnerability, and if you open up those things, and if you show them gracefully, and if you show people gracefully, and you're graceful with people when they make mistakes, then hopefully they will be with you as well. And I think it's something that as a church community and as believers that we need to do, is we need to be extra graceful when people make mistakes and when they are willing to be open, and show that off too. So, oh, and one more thing. I'm not wearing real pants. I'm even wearing track pants. So there is this whole thing of imperfection. And I know you guys do that too. I'm sure lots of you guys are wearing track pants as well. I'm going to leave it there. Let's pray. Dear Jesus, you know our mess. You know the mess of our minds. You know the mess of our bodies. You know the mess of our struggles and our lives. And you love us anyways. You cry with us, and you weep with us when things go wrong. Jesus, help us to be like you. Help us to show the stuff that's difficult. Help us to share it with each other. Help us to create safe spaces to share the difficult things going on. Help us not to hide it or feel shame. Jesus, take away all the bad things and replace them with grace. Help us to be graceful towards each other and towards ourselves. Jesus, as we go about today, help us, give us a place to practice this. Give us a place to practice this and to give grace to others as well. Jesus, we love you so much. Thank you for the work that you're doing in us and in your church and in Barrie. We love you, Jesus. Amen. Well, now I want to cry because I don't like sharing things. Yes, so Greg just said if a parent canceled their children, we would have a lot of orphans out there. Grace is the key. Yeah, I agree. So thank you guys so much for listening to my TED Talk. Not a TED Talk. But I really do appreciate you guys and the grace that you guys have given me and the vulnerability that you guys have shared with me in the past and still. So I hope you all have a great day. And I forget Jen's little saying. Have a great day, and I will see you on Sunday if you're there on Sunday. Bye, everybody.